Moin Moin, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another tip review, and today I have for you the Tri Clarion Ear-Tips in size S. Yes, today we are taking a look at Tri's very own ear tip, and yeah, we discuss what these can and what they can't. And first, of course, we start with the introduction or general information. Yeah. This is the ear tip. Unfortunately, the plastic that was glued on here, I accidentally threw. So the packaging and excess of the packaging you get here is very minimalistic, like there isn't much going on. You get 3 tips, or 3 pairs of tips to be more accurate, for $9 overall. That means they clock in at like, yeah, $3 per pair, which is, on the grand scheme of things, pretty affordable. So yeah, again, as I said, Tri Clarion, $3 per pair. SD35, also $3 per pair. Complete foam tips, like $5 to $8 per pair, depending on the model. Velvet tips, $6.3 per pair. Zettner ear fit, the normal ones, $6.5. Normal spin fit tips, about usually $7.5 per pair. Finally, about 8. Soft ears, liquid silicone, about 9. X Elastex, 9.5. Zettner ear fit max, 9.5 as well. And last but not least, the most expensive one, Asla Crystal. So yeah, these are pretty damn affordable, and yeah, we also have some nice marketing claims which we will take a look now. So first, these are supposed to be, and I quote here, diffuse sound, and they're also supposed to gather sound. I'm not sure what this is supposed to do, honestly. I can't tell you exactly, but that's how they described it. Furthermore, there's a nice sentence which I want to read to you. There will be sound loss during transmission and detail loss under low volume for straight tube ear tips. To improve these, Tri designed this one with new structure which has been built by injection molding of both the inner core and the sidewall. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure again what's going on here. This is like, it seems to be the usual characteristic of these marketing claims. It's just some gibberish that somebody thought over and that sounds like something in anybody's head, but you know, like injection molding is pretty normal. There's nothing fancy about that. And what loss they're talking about, I have no clue. Just have never encountered it so far. But yeah, we take a look at it later on. I also throw on a few nice graphics for you when we talk about sound, so you can see what they might mean in terms of what is happening. But we see it in the course of this review. And first, we start as usual with comfort. Let's take a closer look at this tip here. That's the tip, and as you can see, very, very wide outlet, and the outside here is pretty squishy. Unfortunately, the front edge here, front ring, is not. So that means, unfortunately, this tip really is not comfortable to me. And because it's also rather long, with 9mm, it's actually relatively difficult to find an IEM where this actually fits on. The only one that I can say that kinda fit me was the S12 with these, because as you can see, S12 has a relatively short nozzle, and the IEM itself is also not that long inserting in your ear. So with this, it's kinda okay, but also not comfortable at all. And adding to this is the problem of sizing. This is S, as I said, but there ain't no SS, there ain't no MS, there ain't no ML, it's just S, M, and L. And also S is rather big, with 11.3mm in terms of diameter, M is 12.6, and L is 14. So I think L is actually the only size that I would agree on that's actually in good dimension. Like, that is fine. That should fit most people. But yeah, the other sizes are missing. And yeah, this very wide outlet at the front. Yeah, I just struggle to get anything comfortable with this. I assume if this would be a bit shorter, like 2mm shorter or something like that, I think this might work a bit better, but as it stands now, this is just too long and the outlet is just too wide, so I can't get this to fit comfortably in my ear. Even though, as I said, the outer ring here is definitively squishy, so that has it going for it. But yeah, the front outlet here, as you can see, there's also a bit thicker, the silicone here. Unfortunately, it's not. I have another one here that would be kind of the similar in terms of, yeah, what they want to go for, like more of a funnel or horn shape. This is also something, the spring tip. It also has like a ring at the front, but this is more squishy at the front than even this one. So I didn't like this one in terms of comfort, but yeah, this is definitely a downgrade from there. Also, the crystal tips, which go for a similar thing, while generally being not as squishy, the material is just generally feeling a bit better in my ear, and because the outlet is also a bit smaller, it also just feels better in the same, not the same, similar style in terms of tip. And that means in my total ranking, where I just think how they work for me, this is last place. Like, this is dead last place. Like, even the Final E or the normal Zettner earfit tips, which are way too hard to fit in most people's ears, even these are more comfortable than these here. Like, I would not wear this, the Final E or this one at all, but this is just not good, and yeah, I cannot recommend it in terms of comfort. Noise isolation, on the other hand, is also not good. As you might have seen here, this is a very thin ass material and it's very squishy. That means also it's just not isolating well. And adding to this is also the unique shape we are going for here. This is kind of a ball shape at the back, and then it goes a bit on funnel at the front. That means generally, like, even if you get this inserted well, isolation is just not great. And on my scale, like subjective as I said always, where 1 is, or 0 is really bad silicone ear tip and 10 is a really nice foam tip, this manages like a 3 to 4. If you don't get it inserted deeply, it's really just a 3 or maximum 3.5. And if you get it with a deep insert, it's a 4 or something like that. But really, for noise isolation, this is just not doing a good job. Next, shaping sound, and subjective first as usual. And I must confess, I'm a bit biased at the moment, or since I looked at graphs here, I expected this to deteriorate bass a bit and reduce upper treble a bit, and that's also how I hear it now. Again, as I said, like, this might be my confirmation bias here, just subjectively. Objective, we take a look next. But subjectively, like, it sounded to me that, upper treble was reduced and bass impact was reduced. Similarly to, again, the spring tips where I complained that the bass impact and tightness was reduced, same goes with the Clarion. Like, like most of my IEMs, they just came off as a bit more puffy, as a bit having less impact in the bass, and I didn't like that at all. And also had the feeling that, for instance, in the AJ07M, the Quintet, or the PL02, the upper treble was reduced a bit, also robbing it a bit of some detail, while at the same time also highlighting mid-treble a bit more. That though could be, again, at least subjective, like objective comes next, because if you reduce upper treble, mid-treble will be perceived more. But next, let's discuss this when we take a look at objective measurements. So first I'll be starting off with the AJ07M with pinna, and as you can see, they do dampen the upper treble a bit, but not as much as other tips do, so they're kind of in the middle field here. Again, we need to take all of this with a grain of salt though, because the IEC711 coupler ain't that accurate. But you can also see nicely, mid-treble actually is not reduced, and that definitively does explain, or can explain why it came off like me, that mid-treble is a bit more forward. Because we have lost here around like 10 to 10.5K, we lost quite a bit of energy here. So next, let me open the AJ07M without pinna, so we can at least see how it does in real, quotes, in a real ear, where you have a bit more front volume, and then just on the coupler. And here you can see actually the same trend, basically, treble around like 11K is reduced compared to other tips, but after that you still have energy. It's not the highest reduction overall, because we lose energy at 11K, but we have an energy at like 14 or 15K. But again, the coupler, right? So everything past 10K is just kind of probably, maybe, occasionally correct enough. So for this reason, we will now also take a look at the Quintet. And first again, Quintet with pinna. And I do this actually live here because I just measured them. So I will just need to talk for 2 more seconds. Pinna, with pinna Quintet, you basically see the same trend. It reduces around like 10 to 11K, there's way more energy with other tips. And then past that, at 14K, you have again more energy. So I guess the trend that we can see is between like 10 and 12K or so, you have a reduction, and then after that it raises again, or like you do get upper treble energy. And this is again with the pinna, and now without pinna. Let me also open that. We need to just have the right color so I can see that. Yeah, so trend is basically the same again. Yeah, that means we could reasonably conclude here, objectively speaking, that the Tri Clarion actually do reduce upper treble, but not the upper treble registers, just the stuff between like 10 and 12K, something like that. And yeah, that is probably also where I want to say like most sensitive to. That's why I found the reduction here most noticeable. But this could actually be for some IEMs. If you have a huge spike at like 10 or 11K, this could potentially work to remedy that a bit. But it really depends. You need to try it out and see how it works for yourself. Yeah, but that's it, the objective part here. Then, yeah, let's continue with the review. And last but not least, additional factors. So yeah, usually I talk about cleaning, and this here is just random as silicone. That means you can just clean it without any issue. Like just rinse it under some warm water, it's fine, it will be clean. Use some soap, also no issue. Or even alcohol. This is just silicone, unlike any other weird materials. It's just easy to clean, and that's it. Yeah, so it also is not sticky overall. That means, yeah, you usually don't have ear gunk stick to them, or dirt or dust or so. They're just not sticky, so yeah, material is fine. However, but I'm not entirely sure the longevity of this tip, because AFA, this was already bigger than the specification of this sheet calls, because they say inner diameter of this is 4.6 millimeter. Well, mine definitively is bigger. Mine inner diameter here is more like 5.4 millimeters at smallest, like more like 5.5 or 5.6. So that means, yeah, I can't fit this on small nozzle IEMs. It just doesn't go on there. Like if I put it on something that is what they say 5.5, it just fits on, like just. But anything smaller, like 4.5, that they say, that will just not fit. Like just simply doesn't fit on 4.5. It will just slide off. Put it in your ear, it will stay on, and when you pull the IEM out, it will just go out. So that means this thing is not recommended for small nozzle IEMs. And also, as I said, like I also have the feeling one side, or one of my tips here, looks bigger on the inside than others that I have not used. So also the longevity wise, I just don't think these will last. And yeah, that means generally when we now come to the more like monetary speaking, if you like the sound of these, you might need to replace them more often than other tips, which is just not great. And that leads me directly to the conclusion: it's just too big, Jim. It's just too big. The outlet is just too wide. It is not squishy enough at the front, and it's also a bit too long. If I would reduce the length of this might work. If I would reduce the width of the outlet here, this might work. If I do both, this might work. But as it stands now, even for horn-shaped tips, I think this is just too big. They might also get away with if we would offer an SS, which has a bit smaller outlet, but this is really the smallest they can go, like the 11.3 millimeters diameter here, without sacrificing the shape that they wanted. Because yeah, this is, in terms of shaping, definitively unique. Like it's a bit ball shape at the back, and then at the front more funnel shape. That's unique, totally. But unique doesn't mean good. And yeah, as I said, like this doesn't fit me well, and I just don't think this is overall a good tip, because it's first, yeah, too long, too wide, and also material doesn't seem to be its lasting. So yeah, I just can't recommend this, and I would recommend, even if you're looking for a more funnel shaped tip, like the spring looks like it do a bit better, the crystal does look like it would be a bit better. Hell, even if you go for something more cylindrical, the E Pro definitively is way more comfortable than this. And look at the outlet diameter of the E Pro, that's maybe a millimeter less only or so. So yeah, even for funnel shaped tips, I think there's better choices out there. So yeah, can't recommend the Clarion, and I would say just take any other funnel / horn shaped tip. It's just not good. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, if you have feedback, if you have recommendations or anything else, please leave a comment. And with this, Don Spector out.